setting up a totally local installation of MDriven Turnkey. Search for install turnkey, and I will find setting up MDriven Turnkey and create your site as a web application. This works in a local internet information server, so you need to add that role to your development machine if you don't have it. I'm going to call it my local turnkey. I'm going to set a physical search path where the application will be stored. Okay, this one needs it to be created already. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Like that, my local turnkey. And it also says here that I should have an underscore MDriven server application underneath it. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to put this one under the physical path just to mimic how it looks in the virtual directories. Okay, like that. And in your MDriven server IIS application, you should install the MDriven server software. I'm gonna download MDriven Turnkey as well, so it's 2 applications, one in each of these. And the MDriven server is actually called boring predictable. That's it, just so you know. I'm gonna find them in the download directory. There they are. And if you don't have these import application, export application, etc., it's because you're missing an extension to IIS called web deploy. So install that extension. Once you have done that, you will have the import application, and it's really easy to add zip files like this. So the boring predictable is pouring into the MDriven server. I'm going to remove that name because I have already created the application. And you can use this for updating as well. Just very simple way to pour in everything needed for an internet information server application. I'm going to grab the other one, MDriven Turnkey. Same here, the application is created, so I'm going to pour it in the existing container. Like that. So we've done that. Make sure your MDriven server works. Okay. Browse it with HTTP. And it seems to work. It comes up like this and has evolved the database to the latest definition. And if I head back to the index, I get some errors. And these errors are actually a consequence of we haven't read the instructions thoroughly. As we see here, make sure it uses HTTPS, and ours is using HTTP. That's not good enough. So let's try with HTTPS, and that won't do at all because our web server is not equipped for HTTPS. So we first need to, on the server itself, add a certificate. I'm going to create a self-signed certificate. My self-signed certificate. Normally you would buy a certificate from Thought or Komodo or something like that. But for development purposes, we're going to do a self-signed. So we added the service certificate, and now we're adding a binding to our web server. For HTTPS, we're going to choose our certificate, my self-signed, like that. And actually, while we're at it, let's open up that one, and on the certificate we're going to go show information, and we will see that the certificate is the CN name Raptor Free NY, and that's the name of my machine. This will be the name of your machine when you do a self-signed certificate. So that what the certificate is set to protect, that you're really you. So if I navigate to HTTPS, I see that there's a certificate error because I am not localhost. I am in fact Raptor Free NY. So I should have Raptor Free NI here, and then it's okay. But this is on the top, and that application isn't running yet, so I'm gonna go __ MDriven server. I wrote it wrong. Server, like that. And now I'm gonna register a user, and the instructions say that I should have a user A named A. And when I try to do that, I will find that it is not possible to create a user A, because as a consequence of the installation, the A user has already been created, but I don't know the password for it. So kind of catch-22. I'm going to create a B user instead. And now I can see that I'm in the MDriven server. We have done that its internal model is evolved. Well, we saw that before, but we're going to check it again. Info errors and model evolve. Here are a few buttons. Evolve admin database, and at the very bottom it says evolve success. So and it didn't say that it had to do anything, so that was okay already. But the user with name A, we really need a user with name A that we know the password for. So in order to fix that, I will need to go to the auto form for admin and the sys users, and here I see the users. I have the A user at top. I can go into that and rename it old and submit those changes. And now I log out my B user, and I will register a new A user. No, A with a password that I know. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 create. And so now we need to set up the turnkey settings so that the turnkey application can log in to the MDriven server. So I'm going to go to the app data of my local turnkey, and there's a template file there already that I need to put in effect by copying it. Turnkey settings, it's the correct name, like that. And now I can edit it, and the user is 8, and here I put my password 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'm going to save it, and I'm not allowed to save it because I didn't start my notepad as admin. Okay, I'm gonna save it someplace else. ctemp. Like that, and then head over to ctemp and copy it. That, paste, replace, yes, like this. And you can now use your A account, yeah, so I should be able to, if I refresh this, sometimes the turnkey application isn't restarted automatically just because I changed the file. A certain way to restart a web application is to touch the web config file, and it's restarted, and now it works. Looks like that. Okay, so great, now we're done. We just need to pour in some models into it. Starting MDriven Designer and going to the cloud dialog and going straight to the MDriven server. I'm skipping the MDriven Turnkey login and things like that. I'm going for A and 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'm okay with storing this password, and I'm gonna copy that URL and underscore my MDriven server, and it's slot A0 and automated deploy. It's always this for turnkey applications. Just check that the server was correctly spelled, like that. Yeah, check status, and it seems okay. Now I can upload the default model to my local MDriven Turnkey application. So if I were to refresh this, it says missing page, you need to create a view model named index, and this is one of the requirements for a turnkey application. I'm gonna add a view model index. Give it a type, adding a column that just had a static string, whatever, and upload the amended model, refreshing the application, and we're done, whatever, like that. So trying to navigate the action gives us another error. Sys user is not a type name, and this is a second requirement for MDriven Turnkey applications. A way they need to have a way to handle ASP.NET identity. to allow users to log into your site if you so wish. So I'm heading over to there's a snippet to import these things over at support MDriven designer snippets. There's ASP.NET identity snippets, downloading that file. And in the MDriven designer, I right click and do import snippets. Finding the file I just downloaded. It's that one. Now I can apply the snippet that fixes my sys user and everything like that. I right click it, snippets, ASP.NET identity, apply. And it created a few classes for me that handles all the identification of users logging into my application. So refreshing that, navigating to the view, and now I see that I can execute actions and create objects called things, and I have a warning for not navigating away if I have changes, and I can directly work with the application, create details, and this combo box. Let's see, how does this work? I'm gonna change this one, something else, just to get a feel. Yeah. So let's head back to the model. Okay, the details, if you look here, the details were actually from the detail class. I add a new view model called to manage one detail. And I'm going to add a class action to show that view model. So whenever there's a detail object, we should see this action. I'm going to rename the view model to one detail, and of course the action that I created before the renaming of the view model, I will rename the action as well. One detail view, and that would be enough. Upload. Running the application. Whenever I click view one thing and click on a detail, I get the action and one detail, view one detail, and I can set values on that. But okay, I was sort of hoping getting values into the combo boxes, because select lists like that are often a hassle. So I would want to show you how to handle that. But now I see that we did the details, and the select box was actually from here, the value store, which is this class over here, some value from value store. So can do that in the new debugger instead. No, it was called value store. Gonna just add an expression, value store all instances, just to show me what there is. There are none. Okay, then I write action colon that makes the next expression an expression that can have side effects, the action language. Value store create, execute, execute, execute. So now I have 3 value store values. I want to set a value on those, attribute 1. So action colon, and I selected 1 and pressed selected to M1. So if M1 is a collection of value store values, and I take the first one and assign attribute 1 the value of a string valued 1. Then I change the string and I change the M1 value, so I can jump these back and forth like that. 1, 2, 3, save that, and heading back here, pressing F5, I have 1, 2, 3 here, and I can set the values like that. So this is a good way to really cut down on your development time, and you're free to prototype pretty much however you want, up to 50 classes something. So have fun, and of course you can do more stuff like developing your own JavaScript, etc. Thank you.